Oh, my headphones, AirPods, got all the things. Okay, I think I'm here. Here we go. Okay. Hey everybody, this is Hallie. I am a kettlebell coach. I'm also a pronatal, and I am here doing an Instagram live workout with Kettlebell Kings. And this is pelvic power. So this is all about how to enhance your pelvic floor muscles, how to engage them properly with different breathing patterns. We're going to work in different positions today. I'm going to teach you basically the basics of 360 breathing, how to engage during different movements with your pelvic floor muscles. It's more than just a Kegel. We're going to explain that in a little bit. I'm sure everybody has heard of a Kegel before. But we are going to go into more detail and really get you to enhance that pelvic floor engagement, enhance your core integrity, because the pelvic floor muscles are part of your core, right? There's lots of things that contribute to a strong core, and the pelvic floor is one of them. And yeah, that's what we'll be doing today. It's it's a very in your body class, so it's not going to be super intense. We're not going to be doing kettlebell swings. We are going to be lifting the bell in different ways, but it really is a class that's more about deep internal engagement. So it might take a little bit to get in your body. There's a lot of neurological connections that need to happen with this. So if you're not feeling it right away, just know that it takes a lot of practice. I'm a year postpartum. I started doing this kind of training during my pregnancy when I was taking my pronatal fitness certification. And it took me a long time to really get the deep internal work that needed to happen in order to have a strong birth and a really strong recovery postpartum. And so, just saying that as a disclaimer, it's not easy stuff, even though it might seem like not a lot of kettlebell technique is involved, but there is a lot of internal technique going on. And this kind of work can really help enhance all of your other kettlebell training, especially your ballistics training, which gets that, fast abdominal engagement, diaphragm engagement when you're doing things like swings and snatches. So this kind of stuff can eventually build up to a stronger swing or snatch because you have better control of your diaphragm, your pelvic floor, and your core integrity. Cool. I'm just going to check and see if there's any questions or anything before we get started. Yeah, I'm super happy to be here. I'm in the Pacific Northwest right now. I'm on the Kitsap Peninsula in Washington, and it's a beautiful day here. It is a little windy, so I apologize if there's any wind happening at any point with the mic. I tried to find a spot that was less windy. And yeah, I originally wanted to do it out by the water, but that was just way too windy. So here we go. Okay. So we're going to start off with some breath work. And this is called 360 breathing or diaphragmatic breathing. We're going to try to inhale, and I like to think about this like as if you had a balloon inside of your torso, right? And we're going to try to inflate that balloon three-dimensionally. So not only are we thinking about expanding the belly as we breathe in, but the sides of the rib cage, the back of the rib cage. You're going to get a little expansion up into your chest, but we don't want to hike up those shoulders. We want to keep it mostly down low in our diaphragm and our abdominal area. And we're going to think about the pelvic floor muscles engaging and releasing as we coordinate the breath. But first, let's just think about the rib cage. I want you to put your hands and splay your fingers open as much as you can. Put your hands along the side of your rib cage, thumb toward the back side of your rib cage. And we're going to do a 3-count breath. So get as much expansion on your inhale as you can. 1, 2, 3. And then exhale for 3, pulling the fingers and rib cage in toward your midline. So we're going expansion as we inhale, 2, 3, and exhale, 1, 2, 3. Really feeling that 3-dimensional breath. Here we go. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, and exhale, 1, 2, 3. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Let's do 2 more rounds like that, just focusing on that 3-dimensional expansion. 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. One more time. Feel the rib cage expand. 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Good. So now we're going to try to incorporate the pelvic floor muscles. And the pelvic floor muscles, they kind of weave together at the bottom of your pelvis, right? They support your sex organs. They support your bladder, your rectum, your lower intestines, your uterus if you're a female. And they support a lot of things. And basically, as we breathe in, the pelvic floor muscles will expand downward. As we breathe in, they'll relax. And then as we exhale, the pelvic floor muscles engage, pull in, and support even more as we draw the air out of our lungs. So there's this symbiotic relationship with our diaphragm and our pelvic floor muscles. The diaphragm contracts as we breathe in. We get that big expansion down toward our pelvic floor. As we exhale, the diaphragm releases air and softens, and our pelvic floor muscles engage and support from underneath. Okay, so now it's, like I said before, it's more than a Kegel. So what you're going to want to do is think about that Kegel sensation where you're trying to stop urine. And then we're also going to add the feeling of stopping gas. So the back side of our pelvic floor muscles are engaging as well. And then from the sides of your groin, basically where your sits bones are on the very bottom of your seat, you're going to imagine as you exhale as if you could pull those 2 points at the bottom of your seat toward the center of your body. Okay, so we have the front, the back, and the sides engaging. And not only are we going in toward our midline, but we're going in and hugging up, right? I like to think about it like a little elevator, right? If you had a little elevator at the very bottom of your pelvic floor and your groin, and as you exhale, you could draw that elevator up inside of you toward the center, basically toward your belly button as you're exhaling. Okay, so there's a lot going on. What I'd like to do for this is take one hand at the side of the rib cage to still think about that 3-dimensional breath happening up here in our diaphragm. The other hand I'm going to have at the side just to help with some movement and get the brain kind of envisioning, visualizing this movement with the pelvic floor. So if my fist represents my pelvic floor muscles, we're going to breathe in and let them expand open as I inhale. And then as I exhale, it's a soft hugging in and up sensation. Those fingers draw in and up just like my pelvic floor muscles as I exhale. Okay, so let's do the 3-count breath. Here we go. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. And exhale, 1, 2, 3. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Let's do 3 more like that. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. Good. Go ahead and just relax. Cool. So that is basically the foundation of pelvic floor engagement. It's what I start with all my clients, whether they're pre or postnatal, or whether, it's anybody looking to enhance their training or their core integrity. We're looking to deepen our breathing, breathe from the right place, and get that 3-dimensional engagement throughout our diaphragm, our abdominal wall, and our pelvic floor muscles. Okay, so let's tie this to some movement. We're going to work on the ground first. You can do this without a kettlebell or with a kettlebell. I like to do it at first without, so I'll show you that. And then we'll add in the kettlebell to make it a little bit more of an abdominal exercise, giving us a little bit of weighted feedback. Okay, so what you're gonna do is lay down on your back. Let me move this belt up a layer, okay? Okay, so you're gonna lay down on your back, feet hips at distance. You can put your hands on the side of the rib cage, just like we did in the seated position. And we're gonna do some pelvic tilts here, coordinating that 360 breath. So I'm gonna inhale, let my tailbone be heavy, expand the belly and rib cage, releasing my pelvic floor muscles. And then I exhale, tilting my tailbone up away from the floor gently as I engage those pelvic floor muscles and push the air out of my lungs. Inhale, expand the belly and rib cage. Feel that tailbone be heavy again. And exhale, 1, 2, 3. That tailbone draws up. We're not doing a big movement like a glute bridge. We're doing a small articulation of our pelvis position. Let's do 5 more reps together. Here we go. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Think about hugging those pelvic floor muscles into engagement as you tilt your tailbone up toward the sky. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, engage. 2, 3. Exhale, 3. 2 more. Inhale, release. 2, 3. Inhale, release. 2, 3. Exhale, engage. 2, 3. Good. Just relax for a moment. Now we're going to add a kettlebell to get some weighted feedback for this movement. So I have a 10 kilogram bell. You don't really need much heavier unless, you're like a super tall, gigantic human. But, a little over 20 pounds should do the trick. We're just getting some feedback for our scaps. So this will help keep the rib cage drawn in as I protract my scaps and push the kettlebell up away from the floor. And then that'll just get a little bit more abdominal engagement, feeling the back of my rib cage really ground down underneath me. And then we're going to keep that stable. So I'm really keeping the top half of my spine completely stable and that abdominal engagement braced. And then I'm going to do the pelvic movement. So I'm inhale, releasing. Exhale, pelvic floor engages, tailbone tilts up. Inhale, release. 2, 3. Exhale and tilt. 2, 3. Inhale. Release the pelvic floor muscles, tailbone down. Exhale, tilt. 2, 3. Inhale, release. 2, 3. Exhale and tilt. 2, 3. 2 more like this. Inhale. Tailbone down. Keep pushing your scaps up away from the floor. Exhale, tilt. 1 more time. Inhale, release. 2, 3. Exhale and tilt. 2, 3. Now maintain this position with the posterior pelvic tilt. Keep pushing that bell up away from your chest. Bring one leg up at a time into a dead bug position. And we're just going to hold here, maintaining this abdominal engagement, reaching up through the scaps, trying to draw the rib cage even further in, tailbone up a little higher from the floor. Try to get as much lower abdominal engagement. Feel your pelvic floor muscles hug in and up toward your belly button. And we're holding, we're reaching. Every inhale, trying to get that rib cage to draw further in. Exhale, push the kettlebell a little higher. Good. And now alternate heel taps. Inhale on the way down. Exhale, bring the knee up. Inhale, maintaining that pelvic position. Exhale. So we're just teaching that pelvic stability with still that deep engagement of our core. Pushing up with those scaps. Notice how the more you push the scaps up, the deeper that rib cage can draw in. 2 more. Last one. And then lower the feet. Bring the bell down safely to the side. Awesome. Cool. So I'm just going to check and see if there's any questions. That's just a lot of breath work, a lot of, deep abdominal engagement. Notice we didn't do crunches to get our abs engaged. We did stabilization of our core, our diaphragm. Just going to check and see if there's any questions or anything, guys. Let me know in the comments if you are confused about anything or if you have any feedback. We're going to move on now to do some deadlifts. So this is what I really love to do with clients right away, is teaching someone how to hinge, right? Because we do it, especially as a new parent. If you have a little one, you probably understand you're hinging over all day, to bend down and pick them up. You're hinging over to pick up toys, to clean up dirty diapers, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of my training for myself and for my pre and postnatal clients is teaching you daily parent activities and how to incorporate movement patterns into your training that help make those things easier. So deadlifting, one of those things. So what you're going to do is bring the kettlebell in between your feet. Now we're going to start with just a regular, good old Romanian style deadlift. Okay. So I'm going to have my feet straight forward. We're going to hinge at the hips, lengthen through the hammies, feel that load go back into my glutes. My knees are bent, but I'm trying to keep mostly a vertical shin. Chest is pulling up and open, and I'm going to grab the bell with both hands. Now we're going to take a few moments to drive tension through the floor, break the bar to get our lats engaged, and feel the rib cage pull in and up. It's a similar position to that dead bug that we had on the ground, only now we're upside down. I'm still thinking about protracting my scaps to help draw that rib cage in and up, because if I don't, right, I'm going to sink into the position. So think about pushing your chest up away from the bell as you break the bar. Let's hold for another breath, just feeling that big hamstring stretch, those glutes load, pushing those feet through the ground. Take a big belly breath in. And then as you exhale, stand tall, slowly pushing those feet down through the floor. I want you to stack your body, get your body to go right over your center of gravity. And we're hugging in and up with our pelvic floor muscles there at the top. Okay, and then I'm going to inhale, gliding my hips back as the bell comes down, releasing the engagement of my pelvic floor naturally, right? Because in this hinged over position, there's a stretching happening in my groin, my glutes, my pelvic floor muscles. Everything is basically open here. Okay, so take a big inhale, expand, especially the back of the rib cage. And then as you exhale, press down through the floor, stand tall. Think about those pelvic floor muscles hugging in and up as you stack your body. And then inhale. On the way down, stretch those hamstrings. Okay, here we go. Let's do 5 more reps. Inhale. And exhale, press through the floor. Find that pelvic floor engagement. And lengthen those hammies as you hinge. Think about that sensation of stopping urine, stopping the passing of gas, hugging those two sides of your sit bones toward each other. And all of that is collecting in a nice, firm engagement as you stand. But we're not really squeezing anything tight, right? I don't want you to over clench. That's a big mistake that people make when they train their glutes or their pelvic floor muscles. There's a softness to this, right? Even though I'm engaging, I'm not over clenching and squeezing really tight, right? That can have actually the counter effect that we want. That can cause pelvic floor dysfunction. That can cause incontinence if you do that repetitively over and over and over again, right? Because you're putting unnecessary tension basically in the wrong places, right? We want a soft and engaged pelvic floor that is strong, but we don't want it to be overly tight. And a lot of people, especially with kettlebells, because they do a lot of hard style ballistics in a not so optimal way, end up developing pelvic floor dysfunction. And that's for people to identify everyone that has a pelvic floor. That's every human engage the pelvic floor. And inhale, hinge, lower it down. Okay, so we get a nice deep engagement of our pelvic floor muscles as we fight gravity and lift a weight, right? And that's what really you want to emphasize, is that connection of fighting gravity with your pelvic floor engagement, especially for this kind of purpose. If we're trying to strengthen our pelvic floor, that's what we want to do. It is starting to rain here, and I have my laptop and iPad and everything, all my tech out here. I can't get it all wet, so I'm gonna have to end this early. I'm so sorry, guys. Hopefully I can do another one and we can go into more detail on this. I just don't want to ruin my laptop. So I'm going to end the stream here for now. If anyone has any questions about pelvic floor training, about pre and postnatal training, or kettlebells in general, feel free to reach out to me, and I would love to help you enhance your training, enhance your pelvic floor. But yeah, it's starting to drizzle even more now, so I gotta run. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you next time on the Kettlebell Kings account. And yeah, have a good one. Bye.